Hi, boys and girls. This is lesson 3.9. We are going to be discovering area today, looking at the area of a shape. We're going to start by looking at this shape B here. It is a rectangle because it has four sides, but the four sides are not equal. These two are equal and these two are equal. So we're looking at a rectangle here. I want to start by saying that this would be considered the length of the shape. The length is usually considered the longer side, and the width is the shorter side. However, sometimes we can say that this is the length and this is the width. They're really interchangeable, but I like to say that the longer side is the length. All right, so we're going to be looking at the area of this. I want you to look at this Post-it note for a second. Area and array, what do those two words have in common? Look at those words. What do they have in common? Hopefully you notice that area starts with AR and array starts with AR. This is going to be your trick to remember what area is. It's when you're looking at an array. So let's take a closer look at this shape and how this shape can be turned into an array. I have some tile blocks here. And I'm going to fit these tiled blocks into this shape. I'm going to do it as nicely as I can. My piece of paper keeps moving on me. Okay. So you should start to see that I'm making rows. And there's a certain number in each row, just like an array. All right. So I have these tiled blocks in my array or in my shape. And now I need to think, how many rows are there and how many are in each row? Well, I have 3 rows with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 in each row. So if I asked you right now, what is, how many tiled blocks do I have? Hopefully you're doing 3 times 5. That's really what we're doing when we're finding the area. The area is how much space is inside a shape. So we took all these blocks and we filled them inside that rectangle. And we figured how many rows and how many were in each row, and we did 3 times 5. That is finding the area. When we find the area, we're taking the length. I'm going to say that each of these is 1 inch. Each tile is 1 inch long. We actually call it a square inch. This is a square inch because it's 1 inch long on every side. It makes a perfect square of 1 inch. So when talking about area, we're talking about a square inch. I'm going to write that up here. And we write that like this. IN for inch with a little 2 up at the top. That shows a square inch. So if I count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, I have 15 square inches. But you guys are past the point of having to count. You knew the number of rows and the number of that are in each row. 3 rows of 5 equals 15. So now with the area, if you didn't have all these blocks, you would just need to know the width, which is 3 inches, because look at 1, 2, 3. And the length, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 inches. So to solve the area, we need to multiply the length times the width, or the width times the length. Area equals the length times the width. That L stands for length and the W stands for width. So if I removed these blocks, I would have my width of 3 and my length of 5. My area would be 5 times 3. 15 inches squared. Because remember, there were 15 of these tiles, which is 1 square inch. So I'd write my answer as 15 inches squared. Okay. Let's do it for this. I'm going to turn it this way so you can get the whole shape. For A, okay? This time, I'm only going to do, so there's the width. I'm only going to do 1 row. So I see that my width is 2 inches. And here's my length. My width is 2 inches. My length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 inches. So I want to know what my area is. How many square inch tiles would be in my entire shape? Well, I can see it would be 2 rows of 8. Area equals length times width. Area equals 8 times 2, which is 16. There would be 16 of these square inches. So when we're talking about area, we're looking at an array, and we're determining how many of those tiles are inside that array. It's just like how you learn multiplication, looking at how many rows and how many are in each row. Except this time we're looking at the length and the width. All right, again, area equals the length times the width. So if we multiply the length with the width, it equals our area. All right, let's take a look at this. So again, area equals length times width. You're looking at an array and you're determining what is the length and what is the width and multiplying those together, just like you would for finding how many tiles are in an array. Here we have, it says each small square in this large triangle measures 1 yard by 1 yard. So they're saying that this small square here is a square yard. The length is a yard and the width is a yard. It's 1 square yard. What are the dimensions of the large rectangle? In this case, what would be the length? Well, the length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 yards. And the width would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 yards. The width is 6 yards and the length is 8 yards, just as we said. A short way to write square units is to use a small 2, just like I had showed you. So in this case, they have YD for yard with that small little 2. That's showing a square yard. To find our area of this shape, we want to know how many of those little squares would fit inside this shape. Instead of counting them one by one, yet let's use the dimensions to help us. We can do the length times the width. Or we can do the width times the length. Because boys and girls, with multiplication, it doesn't matter which one you multiply first. Your array just might look a little bit different. So the rule would be length multiplied by the width. So in this case, we would do 8 times 6 to find our area. What is 8 times 6? All right, hopefully you said 48. I know double 6 is 12, double 12 is 42, and double 4 is double 12 is 24, and double 24 is 48. Sorry about that. Okay, use a ruler to calculate the area of a rectangle that is 7 yards wide and 7 yards long. What equation can I write to calculate the area of this rectangle? Okay, yes, we can do 7 times 9 or 9 times 7. What is 9 times 7? Think about that 9 strategy that you've learned. So here is your workbook that you need to get to. It's page 106 and 107. You are going to be calculating the area. Again, all those tiles inside of a shape. You're looking at an array. Think about the length and the width, and then write your equation to solve that. And there you can write the area. Here, they don't have it laid out as an array with the square tiles in it. You have to imagine those square tiles there. So here you know your length is 12 and your width is 4. So what would be your area? Remember, area equals the length multiplied by the width. This time they give you the area for step 3. And you have to think of what would be possible for the length and the width so that the area is 36. All right. And then show your work here. Show your thinking as to how you got the length and the width. Take some time to look at the step ahead as well. Think about what they're showing you here. They want to know the area of this whole entire rectangle. Take a close look at that. That's a good little challenge for you. All right, again, area equals the length multiplied by the width, because you're looking at an array. How many rows there are and how many are in each row. You can do this, boys and girls. Have fun.